ducked off low key, yeah, you know me. Kickin' with Tyree, hit it three like Kyrie.
And I'm excited to talk to you guys about this. I literally just finished it 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So
Fresh,
it's
fresh.
Good.
so it's
Good.
very fresh in the brain. So first question is, you know, what was going on at Columbia that made you guys feel like you needed to tell this story right now?
Yeah, well, I think probably throughout all of Gen Z on any campus or off campus, there's a strong sense of wondering like what's the world's on fire. It feels chaotic. Class of 2024, we got kicked off with global pandemic, then social distancing, then there's been kind of more and more connectedness, but like less and less sense of really being connected with our peers and with as a country and as a globalized society. And then finally the explosion of AI. So it's been a chaotic college experience and coming of age. And at Columbia University, we found ourselves in a community and on a campus where there was you know a strong sense that we should be doing something to make the world a better place, to figure out the direction we're going in, and yet also just the sense of being lost and not sure really um what kind of who we are and what we're really doing to find that path. So I told Kalijah, who was in Seattle at the time, I said, I think there's a story here we should really capture. Let's do it now. Let's not wait.
And being an outsider from, you know, any Ivy institution in that sense, I was curious to know what was going on behind those gates as well. And given that we have the ability to tell the story, and even more so with Jenna and our other tight knit crew members who aren't here, with Haley Russo and Claire Levesque, we really had a good team to make that happen. Yeah.
Um, this feels like a liberal arts education kind of to the T for me, just watching it and how the students interacted with each other, the classes they took, and the different characters throughout the film that are quintessential to like being on a college campus. You have the rich guys, you have the first generation students that feel kind of out of place, but also, want to make it it's known like they belong there. What conversations were you hoping to start about higher education in America?
Yeah. I think especially recently there's been more and more discourse, which has only gotten stronger with AI, about like colleges. It's not getting you ahead. It's not getting you another digit on your starting salary. It's not. There's been, and then also I feel like a growing sense of, I'm going to say, anti-intellectualism, honestly, throughout, just this idea that like we need to just be locking in on actual productivity, jobs that actually get you paid. And college, especially for the financial reasons, is like what's the point? But I think, as we see through our protagonist Atlas, especially in the film played by Rose Badiru, um, I think more than ever we kind of need to, through kind of liberal arts thinking and really getting in touch with like who we are as a society, what how we can connect through cultures as seen in the Chinese plot, and how we can kind of restore. There's so much digital connectedness, and yet we're not like really feeling. I think as Gen Z we feel lonelier than ever. And I think Kingston College represents an institution that's supposed to find these truths in our humanity, but that we're sort of still missing, I think, more than ever as a generation. So Yeah, I mean, Jenna, you might have some good thoughts on this as well, I think, right?
She's still there, so she's still
Yeah,
there.
she's still in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, since Tyree mentioned liberal arts education, I just feel like in an ideal world, like the defining characteristic of that should be humanity. And as you also mentioned, like the characters are like really, really different. Like we have like a legacy student and we have a first generation student, and in one of the really important scenes, um, they got into an argument and they sort of like end up just like defining each other by labels. And I think that's the kind of thing that we don't want seeing happen because it's really sad. And one goal of this film is to portray these characters as like real people who have like a lot of like really nuanced experiences and personalities like beneath all these like very superficial labels, and to really bring out that kind of connection that can happen between like really different characters. And I think that's what's so beautiful about liberal arts and about like this kind of like restoring our faith in humanity in this like very very like polarizing time, I think.
Yeah, and for you guys, how much of your real college experiences did you put into the script? And whether was there anything that you wanted to put in that didn't make it into the script?
Well, easy answer there. It's a personal story, and I think anyone who watches it, who even if it's been a while, like since you were in college, like there's going to be some really relatable moments. Um, there's a lot of lines of dialogue that are kind of real, heard in the halls. There's a lot of moments that some moments are more representative of things that are going on, but some moments are true stories. And I think collectively, as a team of five, Haley Russo, Claire Levesque were also involved in the project. Haley bringing an economics major perspective, the most popular major at Columbia University. Claire Levesque getting really involved in these dynamics with dating apps, lack of social connection in the age of dating apps, and of course, yeah, Jenna, hop in again. You got some things to add? I haven't.
There's one more.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of what we wanted to say we were able to like include in the film. I think the moments that we omitted were just like not as like representative as the moments that we included in the film. So I don't feel like we left out like anything important. Yeah.
Hmm. I I started school at the beginning of the digital age, I would say, or college, which was like 2013, 2014 era. And you guys are in the middle of the digital age, finishing or as you started college. How has being in this digital era changed the way people interact and the way people move through this this next phase of their lives, which is college?
I mean, not to harp on the AI train a lot, but it's because it's growing and it's apparent and it's it creeps into the workforce in many different ways and even like creativity as well. Um, I've seen I'm not sure how to articulate it.
Well, one of the plot lines deals with the situationship, which is, I think, a word that I think there's been situationships maybe since the dawn of time, but the fact that the word exists now to define it with Gen Z, I think speaks to the fact that, um, you know, somehow, despite being able to connect with anyone on social media and being able to see every single student around you like listed and online, it's like our identities have to be flattened, like digitized, encoded, algorithmatized, so that we can be paired on a dating app. You can swipe through every single person on campus, and yet it feels like you're staring through a window, like a one way mirror in an interrogation room. And I think there's people talking about Gen Z loneliness epidemic. Like, I think that's real. And I think on a lot of college campuses, a place where we're supposed to be kind of mingling and finding, you know, the futures of ourselves and of our country and of thought. I think a lot of people feel weirdly lost at this time. So much is changing, and yet sometimes it feels like nothing's changing too. So I think, yeah, that's a big part of the digital age of college. And I think when people watch this film, I think we're really going to feel that as an audience together in the theater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like I was the first generation of the dating apps and how it's to see it all, become almost a pivotal part of society. It's almost like people are like, how else do you meet someone? I went to a wedding the other day and they're like, how else would you meet somebody? And today it feels like that is the barrier of meeting someone or meeting someone to have a romantic interest in. Even friends, like people are going on dating apps to meet friends or apps to meet friends. They're not going out to a bar or to a club on campus to make friends. It's becoming all digital and algorithm, yeah, with the algorithm,
Yeah.
like, oh, we think this person is like you, when I think people should be outside more finding their people. um for you guys, what do you think people mostly misunderstand about your generation?
Jenna, take this one. I think you got a good answer, I bet.
Um, I feel like one misunderstanding. Why are you guys smiling like that? I feel like
I'm thinking
Well, I think
also.
what Jenna
It's a great
championed, I
question.
think throughout Jenna really championed the core of a lot of the plot lines, because it included in the editing room. We were kind of really trying to bring the plot lines together and make sure that as we intertwine through these stories, the audience is kind of feeling the intersection as well, not just the sampling of different worlds on campus, but the intersection. And I think Jenna was one of the ones who really championed that through line, which is why I'm smiling, because I know she's about to really tap into that. But no, for real, like,
thank you. I feel like one misunderstanding as I see it is sometimes like people think that we don't care about things because we have this like cool culture or this like nonchalant culture where people are like acting as if like they don't care about things, and if it and in fact that's I feel like that's also exaggerated by this like flattening effect of social media that we're just talking about because everyone is putting on a camouflage. And you can see that in some of the characters in that film as well. But I feel like this is why we make this film, to show that we do care and we see a lot of things and we feel a lot of things, and we are like, as artists, we are trying like in our own way and on our own terms, like trying to capture this moment to make people feel as we do and see as we do, and also like feel the urgency to make changes and to make connections. I think that's like one very important theme of the film.
it's facts. Yeah.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
the nonchalant. Yeah, that's the term that also has come to define. Yeah,
Especially
it's true.
because I know a lot of the nonchalance, kind of like the vibe of someone who just seemingly doesn't care, is, I think, just maybe misunderstood as like it just pure exhaustion from working like maybe twice as hard as other people. So, you know, so
Mm. So this will be premiering at Tribeca, kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
the heart of in the heart of where Columbia is, right down the street.
Uh,
What do you hope students, professors, and even like the administrators take away from Kingston after the credits roll?
I think first and foremost, we want them like, of course, we already got a lot of help from like our fellow students and professors, so we are really confident on that front. But I feel like the reason that we made a satire is because we love this place. Like we love this community and we love the diversity it has. And we see problems in it, of course. That's why we made the film. But I think our intention has always been to make it a better place for all of us. And I hope that when the credit rolls, they can feel our hearts and our love for this community, and they can um like they can sort of like see through our lens and also resonate and also have a conversation with us because we have Q&As to follow.
Yeah.
Beautifully put.
If last question, if this could be shown to every college freshman as they enter, their freshman year, what's one lesson or warning you'd want them to leave with?
I think when you come in, as we see with our characters, you're coming into a world, and we all know it and feel it. It's a world that feels more uncertain than ever. It feels like so much is changing. It feels it it also feels like in the digital age and with AI changing our perception of the workforce, like where is our place as humans, and what does humanity mean, especially when so much of college nowadays feels like a race for the job market, a race to maximize profit, and the majors that don't come out with a high salary are like, it's like, why did you pick that major? What a waste of time if you're not, bumping up your starting salary.
So people sacrifice what they love to do to join that race, and even if you get in and even if you make it out, do everything right, there's even no guarantee that there'll even be a reward for you at the end. So, after all that, I would say that because like Carlos said, is everything's so unpredictable. I think if you just don't change majors, stick to one thing that is consistent, as doing what you love to do.
Yeah, the characters seek connection. They seek they seek to find themselves and find community and find a way to be seen and heard. And I think through that story, people will see the fears and see the anxieties that they have, but also see that there is we do have the power to connect as a generation and do something. And when the credits roll, I think the book be both a resonance, but also a sense of empowerment in that.
Doing what you love. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today.
Ducked off low key, yeah, you know me. Kicking with Tyree, hit a three like Kyrie.